Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Peppa Pig's house in Minecraft step by step, block by block, including the interior for all of your city building needs. For those of you unaware, the Pig family recently, not so recently actually, moved into a brand new house. And as I have made multiple versions of the original, I would be remiss not to make this one. Let me show you what this build includes. We have the house itself, the small but cheerful garden, the garage including the family car. Heading inside is where things get a little bit interesting. On the first floor, I have combined the foyer and the living room together. These would typically be two separate rooms. Moving through to the back of the house, we have just the kitchen. Heading upstairs, we have the second floor, which includes Mummy and Daddy Pig's bedroom, the bathroom, and I have managed to sneak George's room above the garage. Heading upstairs to the third and final floor, we just have Peppa's room. I did not manage to fit every single room of the house in this build, but I did try my best. By the way, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. This does not count. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to find me will have their comment pinned. This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of your grid, count backwards, find the 7th block, and then count to the right and find the 7th block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 6 yellow concrete extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend all the way down to the ground. Then extend to the right by 1, forwards by 1, and then right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place 2 yellow terracotta. 1, 2. And then 4 yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend towards the back of the build by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then extend across the back of the build by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place an oak door. And then 2 yellow concrete. 1, 2. Extend back towards the front of the build by 2. 1, 2. Then we will simply extend across the back of the build once more, and we are looking to line up with where we very first started, and then simply just connect all the way back to the front. And the end result will look like this. Next, I would like to focus on building the main part of the house. To begin, we will come all the way to the front right hand corner of the build, and place a row of 12 yellow concrete on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We will then extend to the left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Place 2 light blue stained glass. 1, 2. And then 4 yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend all the way down, and you should connect to the opposite corner of the front of the house. We can then extend the 2 yellow terracotta blocks that we have here up by 1 row. Place a stone button here, light blue stained glass on top. Then place 4 rows of yellow concrete on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. then 2 rows of light blue glass, 1, 2, then a row of yellow terracotta on top, 2 rows of yellow concrete extending up to connect to the previous glass, which we can then add another row on top of. And now we can start placing rows of yellow concrete on top of this row that are 1 row shorter than the previous until we eventually reach a peak in the middle, like this. This looks horrifying, by the way. This looks like an alien monster. Looks like something out of Poppy's playtime. Anyway, we can now fill the remaining areas on the front of the build in with yellow concrete. Above the front door is what I am going to call an awning. I hope I've got that right. It's basically a little mini roof, and to do this, we will place an upside down acacia stair here and here, extending out from both sides. We will then place regular acacia stairs on the outside of these upside down stairs, with regular stairs on top. We will then place upside down stairs in between them to meet in the middle, and then regular stairs on top, back to back, like this. Then we are just going to place 2 pale oak slabs in this position, like so. Now, those I think look a little bit better. However, if you are going for something a bit more factual, you may want to use some pale oak fence, either directly above the door or to connect the bottom set of stairs together. That actually looks more like the show awning. Alternatively, you can extend these stairs out an additional row like this and add the same upside down stairs, and then you can have this effect, which does look even more so like the actual show, but then we have the very much protruding awning, which may or may not bother you. We'll leave it like that for now, but we'll see. Next, we are going to work on the left wall. To begin, we will just extend this yellow concrete all the way back and then down to connect to the back corner of the house. That was actually measured perfectly. We will then fill the middle of this wall in using yellow concrete. I was about to say all the way from the top to the bottom, but in our case from the bottom to the top. Now that we have made our wall, we are going to, starting from the front of the wall, find the second block, which is just right here of course, and on top of it place 2 yellow concrete. 1, 2. We will then place 2 rows of light blue stained glass left of these blocks. 1, 2. Then a row of yellow concrete left of the glass. Place another row of yellow on top of the glass, like this. And then simply place acacia stairs along the sides and on top of the window frame, like that. We then want to do the exact same thing on the back as well. So from the top of the wall, we just find the second block, which is easy to find. We then place 1, 2 yellow concrete on top of it, 2 rows of light blue glass to the right, and then a row of yellow concrete right of that. Yellow concrete on top of the glass, acacia stairs along the sides and top of the window frame, and we will end up with this. Moving on to the back of the build now, we will begin by extending this yellow concrete to the left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place 2 light blue stained glass. 1, 2. And then 4 yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can simply just extend all the way down and we should join to the opposite corner of our back wall. We then want to do two things. We will place a row of light blue stained glass on top of our glass, and then we will place 2 rows of yellow concrete extending down from the glass. 1, 2. Followed by a row of yellow terracotta, and then 2 rows of light blue glass. 1, 2. And then 4 rows of yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extending down from the left side, 2 light blue glass, just like this. We can then shape the roof in the exact same way as we did the front. So we just start adding rows of yellow concrete that are 1 row shorter on both sides. You'll see that it's the exact same as the front. Then we can fill the rest of the back of the build in with yellow concrete. It might actually be easiest to fill this right side in and then the left afterwards. Now that we have done that, we just have this right wall to fill in for the main part of the house, which is incredibly simple as we can just connect it together at the top, front to back or back to front as we did, and then we can fill the entire wall in using yellow concrete. Lastly, to complete the main part of the house, all we have to do is add the roof, which can be done by adding a row of acacia stairs along the top of the wall here. Then we will place a row of acacia stairs extending all the way up and down the triangular shape of the roof across the front, and then all the way along the top of the wall on the opposite side here. We can then extend the acacia stairs once again up and down. This is giving roller coaster vibes all the way back to where we first started. We are then able to extend. Actually, here's the thing. The actual Peppa Pig house roof looks almost like this. It doesn't really protrude over the front or back of the house. So you could leave it like that. However, my recommendation is just to extend it 1 row off of the house, both on the front and back of the build, and then to add the upside down stairs underneath. So it really does depend whether you're looking for accuracy or whether you would like something that looks better, which I think that we can agree that does, and I will simply leave that up to you. However, I'm coming all the way to the front of the build and doing the exact same thing again. So now that we have made the edge of the roof, we can just fill the middle section in using acacia stairs, just extending front to back. Moving on to the opposite side now, things are going to get ever so slightly trickier with these 2 windows here. So my recommendation would probably be to connect the 2 windows into the roof first before we get too stuck into it. Just like this. They actually kind of connect to each other in a way as well, if you think about it. So like this here, and then the inward rows so we have connected the 2 window roofs into the main roof. However, we will also have to add a little bit more yellow concrete just either side of these windows, extending into the house like this. So that way we don't have any gaps on the outer parts of the windows, and then when it comes to the actual inside part of the windows, we can just cover it up with what would be the remaining roof. So that looks fantastic. And that is the exterior of the main part of the house complete. Next, let's make the garage. To begin, we will come all the way down to this position and place a yellow concrete. Then 2 light blue stained glass extending left, 1, 2. 2 more yellow concrete, 1, 2. 2 more glass, 1, 2. Then add another row of glass on top of the glass, yellow terracotta on top. Then place a row of yellow concrete extending across from one window to the other. We can then place 2 rows of light blue stained glass on top of these 2 middle blocks. 1, 2. Then we can place 3 rows of yellow concrete on top of that. 1, 2, 3. Just like so. We then want to extend this yellow concrete here back through the window and then down to the opposing corner, just like so. Then we will extend this yellow concrete to the main wall of the house. We are then able to just fill the back wall in here with yellow concrete. We will then fill the middle of the wall in using yellow concrete as well. We will add an additional row of yellow concrete at the front of the garage, extending down. And we can now build up the roof shape by placing rows of yellow concrete at the top of the side of the garage, just extending up, losing 1 row at a time until we eventually reach the peak that we had already placed. Now, to make the roof, it's incredibly simple. We can just place a row of acacia stairs extending across the top of the front of the garage, and then acacia stairs extending both up and down to the back side of the garage like this, extending along the back, connecting to the main house. If you want the more Peppa Pig roof, then you can leave it like this. However, I would always recommend extending them 1 row off. And then adding the upside down stairs underneath. Just like this. And then we can of course just connect back to the main house. So I'm making the outline for the roof against the house itself, just to make this next part a little bit easier, so we can just go back and forth. Not that it's making it any easier, actually. I'm really bad at placing stairs, especially at any sort of speed. I should probably just do it 1 stair at a time instead of just holding my right trigger down, but we'll get there in the end. Next, I've got 2 options for you. Option number 1, we can leave the garage door open, which means we just place 2 rows of yellow terracotta at the top of the door, like this. Or alternatively, we can have the door closed, which means we just fill all of this empty space in with yellow terracotta, and then simply place an acacia button right in the middle at the base of the door. I personally prefer it open, but that's because I went to the trouble of designing the inside of the garage, including the family car which we'll be building later, and I don't want my work covered up. But it is up to you. Next, we are going to decorate the garage with some planters. Place grass blocks underneath these 2 windows, with birch trapdoors flipped up along the outside of the grass. Then place poppies on top of the grass. Move around to the back of the build and place a grass block here in this position and spruce trapdoors around it. We will then place a rose bush in the grass, leave a mandatory gap of 1, place a flower pot with an oak sapling inside of it, and then build up some vines along the garage wall. They look kind of like this, although they will get unruly fast anyway. Unless you want to grab some barrier blocks and just place them kind of surrounding the vines. If you place them in this sort of manner, then they of course aren't going to go anywhere. I actually don't know if there's an easier way to stop them growing. I'm sure that somebody in the comments is going to tell me that I'm a bit silly, but please, educate me. We have officially completed the garage. Next, we are going to make the garden. To begin, come all the way to the back left-hand corner of the garage and leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place a blue concrete, then a mangrove plank, and then a blue concrete. We will then extend both the blue concretes and the mangrove plank 1 row upwards. We will then extend the blue concrete 2 rows forwards, 1, 2, 1, 2. We will then extend the top plank forwards by 2 as well. Then we will place 2 sets of mangrove stairs extending down to meet the ground, and then an upside down stair underneath the first one. It's just easier to remove the blue concrete sometimes. We can then add mangrove signs to the sides of the mangrove stairs, just like this, and item frames both here and here, with ladders extending up the back. We will then place 2 mangrove fence here, 1, 2, extending up, and here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then warped fence gates, extending between the bottom pairs of mangrove fence, just front to back. We will then place mangrove stairs on top of the fence, just extending front to back like this, with mangrove slabs joining together at the top, and then extend them 1 row up like this. Have I even mentioned what that is yet? It's a small outdoor playset with a ladder and a perch and a little slide, although, I mean, it's not really a slide, but hey, this is Minecraft. Next, we are going to move around to the garage, and we will remove all of the grass between the base here, and then extend all the way forwards, just like this, to the edge of the grid, and we will replace all of this with stone. Just like so. So this is of course the driveway. We will add some stepping stones to the front door, so leave a gap of 1 from in front of the yellow terracotta, and then just place 2 sets of smooth stone, like this, extending from in front of the door. We will then move around to the back of the house, where we will leave a gap of 1 from the back door, and then add a similar set of stepping stones, just like this. We will add an oxeye daisy on this side, and an oak leaf on the opposite side, just leaving a gap of 1 on the path. Then we will place a row of oak fence just along the back of the grid like this, just leaving a gap of 1 from the path here, and then on the opposite side we'll leave a gap of 1 and extend a row of oak fence just all the way around the edge of the grid like so, all the way to the front corner here, and then that's probably where we will stop. That is pretty much the entire garden complete, and just because it will bother me, I will replace the grass block, or rather the white concrete, with grass block. Next, let's make the family car. I am going to build the car out here on the drive, but the car does also fit inside of the garage as well. However, I've went to the trouble of designing and building this, so I want everyone to see it. Begin by placing 1, 2, 3 red terracotta here along the middle of the end of the drive. Place a ladder in front of the middle terracotta with item frames either side, and pale oak buttons in front of the terracotta. We will then extend the left and right terracottas back by 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect them together at the back, just like this. Place glass pane along the front of the vehicle with a red terracotta extending back on either side. Place 2 glass pane extending back from the red terracotta, and then place an additional red terracotta on the back corners. Stick a glass pane in between the back pair. Then flip an oak trapdoor up here inside of the car, and then 2 stone stairs extending forwards. We should probably actually add a floor material here, or maybe... No, we should add a floor material. Let's stick an oak plank here. I just think it looks a little bit better. And then we can simply place mangrove slabs across the top of the vehicle like this, just covering it all up, like so. Throw a loom on the ground, open it up, light grey banner in there with grey dye, and apply both the fess pattern and the bore jaw pattern. We can then place a light grey banner here and here on the left side of the vehicle, and as we are here, we also want to place a mangrove button in this position, a mangrove sign in this position, and would it look good to have a sign here as well? No, I don't think it will. On the opposite side of the car, we want to do a similar thing, so banner here, and a mangrove button there, however no sign on the back. On the back, however, we are just going to add an acacia button on the back 2 corners, and that's it. And there's the updated family car. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and begin work on the... interior. The first thing we have to work on is the interior layout. Begin by removing 6 rows of grass extending from the front of the build to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, just like this. And we can even remove this block from the door. And we will replace all of that with purple wool. Directly behind the purple wool, we will place a single row of yellow concrete to represent the wall. We also want to add a door. The door is directly in line with the main entrance and the back window. We will then remove the remaining grass from the floor. And underneath this door as well. And we will replace it with a checkered pattern comprised of both light grey concrete and clay. So then we can just stick these doors back on here, just like so. Probably keep that one closed, and then we can hop back into this room. So next we are going to add the first staircase. The first staircase is placed on the 4th purple wool extending towards the back of the build. So 1, 2, 3, 4, first birch stair. There has to be 6 of them. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At which point we will place a row of orange wool that extends to this back wall, and a row of orange wool directly next to this, extending all the way to the front of the build. I know it looks weird, but trust me, there's a reason we're doing this. Next, we are going to make the ground level ceiling by placing smooth quartz block underneath the orange wool and filling as much of this space in as possible with the smooth quartz. We will have to leave a bit of a gap for the stairs here, but we want to leave just the minimum amount, and I do believe that that is it. That will then allow us to make this wall. So we can just extend this yellow concrete up and around the door, all the way to the ceiling, just like this. And we can also just jump into the kitchen here. And I could think of no other way to cover this up than to just place some yellow concrete. Like, if you wanted to, you could just leave the bare minimum amount if you did choose, but that's... I just figured that I'd add a pillar in the corner of the room. Anyway, that is the ground level layout complete, which means it's now time to head upstairs and work on the second floor. To begin, we will place a row of 5 light blue wool extending from the back of the house to the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by a yellow concrete. And then we will place an alternating lime and white terracotta row extending towards the front of the build, like so. We will extend the yellow concrete forwards to join to the orange wool. We will place a yellow concrete here and here as well. And then this is where things get tricky, actually. So we can fill this section in here with the checkered floor, because I otherwise don't know what block has to go next to this yellow concrete. It basically just depends how the pattern works. It turns out there would have been a lime terracotta. I don't know if you guys had money on that, but we can then fill this gap in here with yellow concrete. And then we can place a light blue wall here in this room with yellow concrete next to it, and then we can fill this floor in using the light blue wool, just like so. So this back room will be Mummy and Daddy Pig's room, and this front room will be the bathroom. We can extend the yellow concrete blocks up by 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will form the walls. And something else we can do as well is just add a door here and place yellow concrete above it, and we can do the same here for the bathroom too. So we can then continue to extend all of these blocks up, and also the separating wall between the two as well, just like this. And we also have to add some orange wool out here in the hallway. We also have to add the entrance into George's room, which is actually right here. So at the edge of the orange wool, we will have a door. We will just extend the orange wool into this room here, stick an oak door here so we can crack this open. And in this room, we will have a row of cyan wool placed 1 row down. Now, the reason that the cyan wool is placed 1 row below the actual door is because of this pesky window right here. That is literally the only reason we have had to do this. And you can use whatever block you would like to extend down into the room. I might even use a warped stair later, but I have acacia stairs with me. And then we can just clean up the roof section here by placing upside down acacia stairs underneath our stairs, just like this. Perfect. So this is going to be George's room a little bit later. Next, we will place a set of birch stairs extending up from just behind this door. So right here, we will have a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birch stairs extending up and back, just like so. And I do believe that we can even place upside down stairs underneath these to actually clean these up, and we are still able to get up and down them, which is wonderful. So now that we have all of our 3 rooms laid out here on the second floor, we can head all the way up to the 3rd and final floor, where we will place a layer of light blue wool extending back from these stairs. And I just realized it would actually be significantly easier if we were to place our smooth quartz block underneath where we have just placed the light blue wall to make the second story ceiling. And once again, we're just placing the minimum amount of smooth quartz here so that we are able to get up and down the stairs. And then we can just spread this into the other rooms just like so. And I think that it's just easier to do this whilst we can still build this and then place Peppa's floor directly on top. So we should just end up with something that should look like this. And then we are able to just place our light blue wall on top of this. We can even get rid of these yellow concretes actually, and then we can just fill the rest of the floor in. Perfect. So next we are also just going to get rid of these yellow concretes right here, just next to the windows. We can't get rid of these ones though, but what we can do is we can place some upside down acacia stairs just like this. And we can also like box in these windows. We will need some acacia planks for this, so like here and here for example. And we can kind of, actually we need to place another row of these so that they are flush with this row, and then we can continue placing our stairs, and you can see that this just looks a little bit cleaner, I think. And we will extend this all the way up to the ceiling, just like so. And then this opposite side is a lot simpler because there's nothing here, so we don't have to negotiate with any windows whatsoever. We can just place some upside down stairs just like this. And this is about as clean as we can get this room. The only alternative is to like create pillars using the yellow concrete, but the issue with that is that we will inevitably end up with this one that there's nothing we can do about it. So I think that the best option is to do this, or if you didn't mind, we can remove that and then stick an acacia here so that the roof kind of like blends in with itself. You know what, let me just show you. So the difference between having the acacia on the inside versus the yellow concrete on the inside is that this, of course, looks cleaner on the outside. This looks cleaner on the inside, as you can see. I am superficial. I would prefer it to look better on the outside. Regardless of what you choose, we can now head all the way back down to the ground floor and begin work on the rooms. First of all, we will make the living room slash foyer. Begin by placing birch planks along the side of these stairs. We can extend an additional 2 planks underneath the first set. Then we can actually break into the garage. We will then place an oak door here in this position, and then stick spruce fence along the side of these stairs. We want to place a baby gate at the base of these stairs, which means that we want to have some sort of power source, whatever you choose, just underneath the base of these stairs. So, iron trapdoor, power it up, there you go. Tripwire hook here in this position, item frame next to it, above it a birch shelf, in the corner a scaffolding, and an item frame underneath the scaffolding, and some sort of boots in the item frame. Then we will place a pale oak button on the wall to make a light switch, and also one over here as well for some reason. A bookshelf here, surrounded by bamboo trapdoors, and we'll stick a creeper head on top of the bookshelf. In the corner here, we will place a bookshelf, and next to it, 2 warped stair with a warped sign to the left. Leave a gap of 1 and place oak slabs in front of the sofa. Then on this opposite wall, we will place a warped stair, and I actually forgot to place a flower pot on top of the bookshelf here and a fern inside of it. And we also want to place, and this is a mouthful, a waxed oxidized copper trapdoor flipped up in front of the bookshelf. On the wall, 2 oak signs in these positions. Cyan wool in front of the oak slabs. File pot here. Oak sapling here. Waxed copper chain here. Waxed oxidized lightning rod on top. Lantern here. And then crimson signs aside the lantern. Next, we are going to add a painting on this wall, which is going to be a 2x2. That one is actually perfectly fine. It sort of complements the colour scheme, actually. We also want a 1x1 above the sofa, here in this position. And we want a 1x1 here as well. We want to fill all of these shelves / item frames in with jackets of some description. I actually meant to grab a different one, but that's fine. We also want to add a doormat in the form of just 2 blue carpet here. I was even contemplating adding one here, but then I guess it wouldn't make too much sense, but it does kind of look better this way, doesn't it? We need to add a lantern here, surrounded by pale oak signs. Now, once we have added that, we also want to add one into the middle of the room, which is going to be right here, I do believe. There's not really like a middle of the room per se, but it lines up with the coffee table and this door, so it's middle enough, if you ask me. And we will surround this one with acacia signs. And once you've done that, you have successfully made both the foyer and the living room, which I know it's weird, but hey. Next, we can head into the back of the house and work on the kitchen. So, start off by placing 2 blocks of iron in this corner with stone buttons in front of them. White concrete here to the left. Cyan concrete left of that. Backwards facing smooth quartz stair left of that. Then a cyan concrete. Furnace. Polished blackstone brush plate on top of it. Stone stair above. In this corner, a cyan concrete with a quartz pillar on top, and then a stone button on top of that. Then we can place both a green shulker box and a light blue shulker box to the left of this, with a spruce trapdoor and an oak trapdoor on top. Couple of warped shelves in these positions, with a brewing stand here, then purple candles here, leather here, and then a pale oak button here. We can then stick a lantern in, once again, like we don't really have like a middle of the ceiling exactly, but line up with the door and maybe just like leave a gap of one from the wall and then place the back wall and then surround the lantern with mangrove signs, just like this. Then we actually have some paintings to place. So we want to have a 1x1 painting here and here, just either side of the door like this. We also have to make some banners too, so throw down loom, open it up, white banner in there with black dye, and apply the pale pattern and fast pattern, stick white dye in there, and apply base, and then pale dexter, and then put blue dye in there, and apply the ball jaw pattern. Then stick a black banner in there with white dye, and apply both the fess and the ball jaw patterns. So this banner is a clock, which we will place in the middle of this wall, and then this banner is kind of just a general purpose sort of like kitchen appliance banner. You can actually stick it pretty much anywhere and it looks like something, but we'll place it here just underneath the brewing stand, and we also need to have a warped shelf here in this position too. Now we will fill this shelf up with flower pots, stick a cyan banner here against the window, and then we will fill these shelves in here with different potions. And once you've done that, you have made the entire kitchen. Which means we can now head into the garage, which is just back into the living room and through this door. And first of all, I guess we've just got to remove the entire floor. Just like this. We do also have to consider where we want the purple wall to extend to. I'm thinking here, and then we can just stick like another door here, so the floor situation makes more sense. I guess we'll have it like this. Then we will have a row of smooth stone just extending around both the right wall of the garage all the way along the back. And then we can fill the remaining part of the floor in using just regular stone, so that it's just an extension of the driveway. In addition to this, we're just going to stick some tables just along this back wall, just crafting, cartography, fletching, and smithing. And then we'll have a couple of shelves up on the wall as well. So 2 here on the back and 2 here. And we can just stick like chests on these shelves. And if you want to, you can just have more tables and more chests. And you can, you know, add some more just stuff. Or maybe even just like... Maybe that's just the right amount of stuff, to be honest. I think that is perfectly fine. But what is not perfectly fine is the ceiling. We are going to grab smooth stone slabs, and we are just going to add a layer of these underneath the cyan wall. As, of course, George's bedroom is directly above us, and I think that just looks way better. And as I mentioned, the car, even with these tables, still fits comfortably in the garage. So do feel free to move it in, but otherwise, that's it. With the ground floor complete, we can now dramatically head upstairs and begin work on the second floor. The first thing we will actually do is just add some bookshelves to the ends of the hallways with some light blue carpet on top. We will do this to both ends. And if you want to add a pale oak button to the top of the stairs to act as a light switch, I think that is a nice detail as well. I also want to add some 1x1 paintings down the hall, just in between the 2 rooms that we're building. It's a little bit tricky because we have a very limited amount of space here, but it should be that you are able to place 3 1x1s in between each set of doors here, and if you wanted to, you could stick one on this wall, although it doesn't really fit very well. So we are now going to head all the way back up to the top of the stairs, and we will enter this first room, which is Mummy and Daddy Pig's room. In the very corner is a nightstand, which is an acacia plank with an oak button in front of it. To the left of this, we will place 2 yellow wool and extend forwards by 2 rows. Place white carpet on top of the first row, and then in the corner here, we will place a double chest. Whilst we have them out, we do also want to place some paintings as well. So we will have a painting here above the bed, which is just at the top of the wall here. And we will also have some 1x1s here and here, just like so. Now, focusing on this wall, we will place backwards facing spruce doors in front of the double chest, and we will add 2 spruce trapdoors extending up aside this, and place some spruce trapdoors just across the top here. We will also place a couple of cyan shulker boxes underneath the window, and on the floor here we will place an item frame with some diamond boots in there, and a pale oak button just next to the door, an armor stand here in the corner. And then last but not least, we will place a lantern here in this position just above the bed with mangrove signs around it. So that's probably the best position. It's kind of the middle of the room, and by kind of I mean it is precisely the middle of the room. It just looks a little bit weird, I think, because of the wall here. Also, what happened to our nightstand? We should probably fix that. I legitimately don't know how that happened, but we will place the nightstand and a lantern on top of it, by the way. And that's pretty much all there is to Mummy and Daddy Pig's room. Next, let's head all the way down to the end of the hall into the bathroom, which that was harder than it should have been. In the bathroom, there is of course a bath, which is made by placing 1, 2, 3 smooth quartz stair along this wall here, which we will then turn around and back onto themselves to create the tub. We will then place a lever here on the wall with a stone button to the right of it. Stack some sea pickles here and a player head here. This is meant to emulate a bath toy. It's not just a crazy Steve head. We will then place green carpet in front of the bath with a white banner here. We'll place a couple of iron chains extending down from the ceiling, and that is just a light switch. On the walls, we want to place a painting in the center of this wall, just a 1x1, and we also want to do the same on this side, although the middle of the wall is a little bit different. That's perfect. We can then turn our attention onto this side, where we will place an upside down smooth quartz stair here, spruce trapdoor on top, flower pot to the left. I think they will keep the trapdoor flipped up. On this opposite wall, cauldron, tripwire hook, throw down loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with white dye, apply the bend pattern, gradient pattern, cyan dye in there, apply the bordure pattern, stick that above the sink, and before you know it, you will have completed the bathroom. And there we go. So now we can head just across the hall now into George's room. First of all, we are going to alter this wall a little bit by placing orange terracotta across the bottom, 2 grey concrete powder built into the wall here, and then yellow terracotta above. Just going to replace that stair. Then underneath this, we want to place warped trapdoors like this, with blue carpet on top to form a table. Then a warped stair in front of this. A double lime bed here with pale oak planks here and a pale oak sign here. We will then place stone buttons in front of the planks with a flower pot here, couple of red candles here. Then we will place a cartography table in this corner with a crafting table next to it. And along here, a couple of chiseled bookshelves with some books inside of the bookshelves. Then we have to place just some scattered carpets. So like an orange carpet here, say, a lime carpet here, then a magenta carpet here. We also have to place a pale oak button next to the door, and there's like blocks and stuff on the floor, so you can emulate that by placing like buttons or just kind of like leaving it. It's up to you. There's also some dangling they're not really like mobiles because they don't move, or mobiles depending upon where you are in the world, but they're basically just like dangling toys, and they're meant to be dinosaurs, but we don't have dinosaurs, unfortunately. So instead I was thinking maybe we can stick like a zombie and a creeper head kind of like just dangling down from the ceiling to sort of emulate that. Maybe even like just offset them a little bit, which is what I'm trying to do now, by the way, but I don't think I'm doing a good job at it. I don't even know what's going on anymore, but I think that looks pretty okay. And now that we've done that, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually completed George's room, which means we can now head up to the 3rd and final floor and begin work on Peppa's room. First of all, we will focus on this corner of the room by placing 1, 2, and then 3 purple concrete extending up from the ground. We will place 2 rows of purple terracotta to the right of it, and then a row of purple concrete right of that. We will extend the purple concrete 1 row forwards, and then the bottom row of terracotta 1 row forwards as well. Mangrove buttons here, end rods here. We will then stick a loom here. Then to the right here, we will place a row of 1, 2 warped slabs, purple concrete on the end, which we will extend down. Ladders against the purple concrete, and then warped slabs here, like this. Then, if you would like to just excavate this row of upside down stairs, we can place 2 white carpet here, and then yellow carpet everywhere else. We then will place a lime wool here in this position, light blue banner here, and here. Then we will stick, say, a crafting table here, item frame here. Then on this wall, we will place 2 purple concrete like this, with a not that big, a painting above it. Then a bamboo sign here, acacia sign here, stick an item frame here, some magenta candles here. Then coming all the way over to this direction, we may as well crack open this loom right now and stick a light blue banner in there with white dye and apply the bend and a gradient pattern. Stick a magenta dye in there and grab the, or rather apply the ball jaw pattern. We are then able to stick this banner right about here. It kind of like, I mean, it can face any way you like. I think that probably looks best like this though. We will then stick some magenta candles here, item frame here, a couple of buttons just around the place a little bit. We also want to have a light switch which will stick right at the top of the stairs here. Maybe even like a flower pot somewhere as well. Oh, we need to add some banners. Along this wall, we need to add some paintings too. I do believe that we can stack them like this, just some 1x1s, like so. Then over here in this corner, there's just a bunch of different place stuff, so like just some different tables like this. Maybe a chest facing this way, a loom facing this way. More, again, just like more buttons and more just stuff on the floor. Do feel free to grab different buttons and what have you. And just some player heads about the place. There's just loads and loads of toys scattered about everywhere. And we do also want to just fill this closet up with some banners. I've just went for magenta banner and a yellow banner. I suppose that we've just got rid of that pop, but it doesn't really matter. I may have also done a slight oops because we have to make a rug here. Although we can work around it, but first we are going to place 1, 2, 3 red carpet in this position, and then 1. Let's grab the red wall now. So, and then that button. Then we'll have a red wall here. We'll stick the button back and then just continue placing red carpet here. 1, 2, 3 carpet here, and then 3 here. We're basically just making a circle, as you can see. And then we'll stick an orange carpet in each one of the 4 corners, cyan carpet in the middle, and then just yellow carpet everywhere else. And that is just meant to emulate the rug that is in here. If you did want to, there are curtains meant to be up as well, so you can stick them here. It depends whether you think it's too busy or not, but honestly the whole room is rather busy, and well, that's kind of it actually though. With those final details added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Peppa Pig house into our city. Unfortunately, there really is only one place this build belongs in my city, and that is in the new suburban suburbs. Floating above the city on its very own island at the moment? It's a long story, I won't explain it. So I am just going to place the brand new house right next to the old one, and when the suburbs gets placed back into the city, we will do something cool with this build. But until then, you may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.